Take Amazon. It's not intuitive to think a failed product launch at a major company would be normal and fine. Intuitively, you would think the CEO should apologize to shareholders. But CEO Jeff Bezos said shortly after the disastrous launch of the company's Fire phone. If you think that's a big failure, we're working on much bigger failures right now. I'm not kidding. Some of them are going to make the Fire phone look like a tiny little blip. It's okay for Amazon to lose a lot of money on the Fire phone because it will be offset by something like Amazon Web Services that earns tens of billions of dollars. Tails to the rescue. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings once announced his company was cancelling several big budget productions. He responded, "Our hit ratio is way too high right now. I'm always pushing the content team. We have to take more risk. You have to try more crazy things because we should have a higher cancel rate overall." These are not delusions or failures of responsibility. They are a smart acknowledgement of how tails drive success. For every Amazon Prime or Orange is a new black, with certainty that you'll have some deaths. Part of why this isn't intuitive because in most fields we only see the finished product, not the losses incurred that led to the tail success product. The Chris Rock I see on TV is hilarious, flawless. The Chris Rock that performs in dozens of small clubs each year is just okay. That is by design. No comedic genius is smart enough to preemptively know what jokes will land well. Every big comedian tests their material in small clubs before using it in big venues. Rock was once asked if he missed small clubs. He responded, "When I start a tour, it's not like I start out in arenas. Before this last tour, I performed in this place in New Brunswick called the Stress Factory. I did about 40 or 50 shows getting ready for the tour." One newspaper profiled the small club sessions. It described Rock thumbing through pages of notes and fumbling with material. "I'm going to have to cut some of these jokes," he says mid-skit. "The good jokes I see on Netflix are the tales that struck out of a universe of hundreds of attempts." A similar thing happens in investing. It's easy to find Warren Buffett's net worth, or his average annual returns, or even his best, most notable investments. They're right there in the open, and they're what people talk about. It's much harder to piece together every investment he's made over his career. No one talks about the dirt pigs, the ugly businesses, the poor acquisitions, but they're a big part of Buffett's story. They are the other side of tail-driven returns. At the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting in 2013, Warren Buffett said he's owned 400 to 500 stocks during his life and made most of his money on 10 of them. Charlie Munger followed up, "If you remove just a few of Berkshire's top investment, its long-term track record is pretty average." When we pay special attention to our role models' successes, we overlook that their gains come from a small percent of their actions. That makes our own failures, losses, and setbacks feel like we're doing something wrong. But it's possible we are wrong, or just sort of right, just as often as the masters are. They may have been more right when they were right, but they could have been wrong just as often as you. It's not whether you're right or wrong that's important. George Soros said, "But how much money you make when you're right and how much money you lose when you're wrong. You can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune." There are 100 billion planets in our galaxy, and only one, as far as we know, with intelligent life. The fact that you are reading this book is the result of the longest tale you can imagine. That's something to be happy about. Next, let's look at how money can make you even happier.